Welcome to Inspirational Women. This week we stop at Langa Community Health Centre to speak to these vibrant volunteer doctors who selflessly tend to the afflictions of the local residents. Then we pop down to Crawford to speak to the amazing Rifqa Khamildin about her innovative scarf wrapping techniques. Join our hosts Najah Mohammed Ladi and Abida Dixon Mohammed now to hear from these inspirational women.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm here with Sister Ruqayya Ajran, and she's been one of the sisters very active here at the Langa Clinic. Assalamu alaikum, Sister.
Wa alaikum salam.
How are you, Sister Ruqayya?
Alhamdulillah.
Shukran for having us, for affording the ITV crew the opportunity to really see what you as an inspirational woman is all about, volunteering your service. Sister Ruqayya, if you can just briefly tell us, for how many years have you been volunteering your service here at the Langa Community Centre?
I think about 5 years I've been here at the clinic. It's not too long when they opened and I came here, and I'm trying to be here like every Saturday, alhamdulillah.
Okay, and I believe the clinic opens, what time is the opening hours of the clinic?
Actually, we're opening normally start at 10 or so. The doctors comes at 10. And then, but then the clinic is already so full because people sitting here from 5 o'clock in the morning. And sometimes when I do night duty, I come straight from work, then I start at 7 already. Okay. And just to finish early also so that I could get some sleep.
Yes, so Sister Ruqayya, you've also got a full-time job.
Yes, I am. I'm working at Christian Barnett Hospital in the pediatric ward. Mm-hmm. And I'm working from 7 to 4 every day.
So from your full-time job sometimes, you come here and do your voluntary work as well?
Alhamdulillah. On a Saturday, I'm off normally. Okay. So that is the time that I give my service to.
And Sister Ruqayya, if you can just briefly tell our viewers as well, how many hours do you work here on a Saturday? It starts the morning?
Yeah. Until
what time do you
Sometimes we are so busy, we get done sometimes after 2. But sometimes we get managed before the work we finish. Okay. It's not always. Sometimes there's such a lot of patients and we cannot send them away because they're all sick. But at whatever time, then it's when we finish, we go home.
Yes, and of course there's many patients here because we also just need to mention the clinic is completely free to all the patients. And your job, Sister Ruqayya, what does your job entail here on a Saturday morning?
Normally after doctors see the patients, then my job is to give them some injections, give them the medication that the doctor wants me to dispense. And sometimes I also help doctor out because sometimes it's very full. Mm-hmm. And most of them come for pain medication, the flus and stuff, and doctor also helps me, then we sort them out so that we can also get home.
Yes, of course, and it's winter season now. Yes. So this morning when we came in, there was lots of coughing going on in the consultation room. I know in terms of the diagnosis, it's very confidential, but what kind of cases do you see on a regular basis?
Like normally flu, like you said, and then people come with back pain, they come with swollen neck, swollen feet, painful limbs, sores in the mouth, gastro. We've got lots of varieties of patients that we see that we can help because we are like a normal surgery.
Yes.
And chronic medication, sometimes we do have people that doesn't take the medication. We give some medication because they come with high blood pressures and they do have medication, but they don't take. So I give them a health education. So when they come back the next week, they said it helped. Yes. Somebody just needed to explain to them directly how to work.
I watched you and doctor, attending to a few of the patients. And there's really this passion that you have for your patients. Sitting and explaining to them. Yes. And as Sister Ruqayya mentioned, sometimes they don't take their medication. Yes. What happens in a case like that? If the patient is being prescribed a medication and they don't take the medication?
I explain to them if they don't take the medication as is prescribed, they will not be cured. Okay. So or we refer them to the day hospital, especially with the chronic people. Yes. But when they come, most of them come back the next week again with the same problem. And then I ask them, did you take what I told you to do? And they said, I like to something. And then explain to them again. Yes. And then they they say they are fine.
Yes. I also spoke to a few of the patients, and they're just very happy to be here. And the one said to me, "It's even just conversational.
Yes.
We need that as well." Sister Rugaya, in terms of the future, you're an inspirational woman on the ITV program, inshallah. What message, would you like to give out there to the community in terms of the difference that we can make in the communities?
There's a lot of times that I ask people, especially nurses, that this was what was working with me, and that they can come spend the time here and give some volunteer. Allah loves people do volunteer work, and what we are getting so much, and we cannot shukr Allah enough. So what? To just give some time and come see what we're doing here at the clinic, and just see if you can also be inspirational, because lots of the people, they love us to be here. If I didn't come here for a while, they would ask me, where were you? And so, because there is a lot of people that comes here also for conversation, and there's a lot of old people that comes here that is staying alone.
Yes.
And when I ask, why are you here again, Mama? I just want to come sit here and see people,
Okay.
Yeah, so it is also lovely just to talk to them, gives them some health education, and explain to them what the clinic is all about.
Yes.
So just to inspire them also.
So it's really inspirational. It's a holistic approach, really.
Yes, it is.
Yes. And Sister Rugaya, in terms of bloods that people need to take or have x-rays done, is it here at the clinic or do you refer?
No, we don't do things like that, because when it's really in need for that, doctor give them referral letters, send them to the various hospitals that they need to go. And then sometimes they would also say, when you get the results, they come back and tell us what's happening, and then doctor can manage them from there again.
That's right. And is it open to everybody, or is it for mothers with babies as well?
It's for everybody, because there's mothers with babies, there's grannies, there's everybody's coming from all over.
Yeah.
So it is open to everybody.
And like you also earlier said, it's generic medication.
Yes.
And people with allergies and stuff, if there's maybe a reaction, do they come back to you, to the clinic?
They do come, and then we refer them just because they need to go and check for allergy tests and so on.
That's right.
But we do also ask them, before we do prescribe anything, are you allergic to anything or any medication or so?
Sister Rugaya, I know it's been managed by the Islamic Medical Association. Is there any need that you would like to put out there to the community in terms of how the clinic can benefit more, and maybe even serving more people? What would you like to say to the community?
If there's people that can sign up with the Islamic Association, can become a member to help to sponsor the clinic, because we're doing this for free. Yeah. The medication that we get, I get it at Crown Pharmacy. Can I say that?
Yes, of course.
Because that, and it is very expensive medication.
Yes.
And IMA pays for that. So we don't charge anybody anything.
Okay. Sister Rugaya, if very serious illnesses are being picked up in terms of operations, where does the patients go to have that done?
What we normally do, if the patient is really very sick, sometimes we volunteer, take the patients ourselves to the day hospital, because the hospitals wants to come patients via day hospital.
Yes.
So it's very serious. We had some patients and some of the students took them in their own cars to the day hospital, and they've been managed from there. And normally we do it out of our free will.
Just love what you do.
We love what I do.
And earlier I asked, how long have you been doing this? Do you exactly know how long you've been doing this?
It could be about 5 years.
5, 6.
I'm not really sure, but I didn't track. But it is quite a long time.
Yes. And this is the community health center. It is not the Langa clinic.
No.
The day hospital and the clinic is something different?
Yes, it is. Because this is sponsored by IMA, and it is like a private clinic, but it is free for everybody.
Free for everybody, definitely. And in terms of the future, what do you think where would you like to go, with this community health center?
We would actually like to make it almost like an everyday health center. Yes. And but we need funds actually to grow more, and we need the manpower. Because I'm alone at the moment, and then we've got the help of the students and the doctors that comes. But like here, I'm every week. Alhamdulillah, so far I've been alone. That's why I'm inspiring the nurses to come and help me sort it out.
Inshallah, Amin, inshallah. And somebody that would love to, watching our program today,
Yes.
inshallah, how can they connect or contact? Where can they go if they would like to also be part of this Langa Community Health Centre?
I'm a sprout, so there is, I think...
The Islamic Medical Association.
Yes, because they are also explaining, they are talking on this on the TV, so they get the numbers with which they can contact also, and then even they can contact me or the doctors. That is, there's a lot of doctors on board, so there's a lot of doctors that they can contact and ask if they can be on.
Okay. Sister Gaya, we need to wrap up, your interview. Your last words of advice to the world out there.
If anybody can just give some time off, and even if it's a 1 hour, 2 hours, just to come and see what we do and come and help out, it would be so glad. It would be very wonderful for the patient. It also makes our life a little bit easier.
Yes.
And it is also inspiration for them too. Inspiration, inspire the community.
Definitely, definitely. And Sister Gaya, shukran very much.
Afwan.
It was such an honor just to be here and to be part of this interview. And may Almighty Allah just preserve you
Ameen,
and the medical professionals for many more years, inshallah.
Ameen,
Well,
Shukran so
that's our interview with Sister Ruqayya. We need to go for a break, inshallah. But when we return, I'll be chatting to more professionals. Welcome back. With me, I have Dr. Nasima Bade. She's a volunteer doctor here at the Langa Community Centre. Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Bade.
Wa alaikum salam.
How are you, doctor?
Very well, thank you, and thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for having us. Such a privilege and honor to be here, mashallah. Doctor, earlier, I chatted to you and you said you're so busy here already because the patients has been waiting. And obviously on the footage, we can see there's so many patients. My question to you will be, why are you doing this voluntarily?
I think, like the rest of the volunteers who work here, we do it out of a sense of commitment, duty, and predominantly giving back to the community.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose the field that we work in, most of us go into it with an idea in mind, and it's probably a bit of an idealistic concept when you're a student of assisting and studying medicine in the first place so that you can help others. And while, of course, everything that we do is to help others, there's something lovely about helping others for no other reason than for the pleasure of the Almighty. There's something very intense and gratifying about assisting when you're not being remunerated for that.
That's right. Doctor, earlier I asked the Sister Ruqayya as well, how many patients do you see on a Saturday?
Depends. On some days it's busier than others. Probably an average is about 20, sometimes up to 25. And I believe about 2 or 3 weeks ago, there was a day in which there were 35 patients in the morning. I wasn't on, it was one of my colleagues who was. And it was crazy. So, he worked from early till, I think he must have finished sort of 2:30, that sort of time. I mean, obviously you pick up your pace when you have more patients.
That's right.
And bearing in mind that people who do it often have weekend commitments, so they work their own weekends at their own practices or clinics, and then, on a free one, volunteer to come here. So it can get quite busy, but I love it. I actually enjoy it.
Alhamdulillah, we can feel the passion here, alhamdulillah. Dr. Bade, you're also in private practice.
Yes.
And whereabout is that?
I work at Kenilworth Medicross. It's a group practice, so I'm one of the partners there.
Okay. And in terms of the patients coming in, what kind of diagnosis are we looking at? Of course, confidentiality, we don't want you to share,
well, it's
but
not,
just generically,
Not to worry about confidentiality if we're speaking in broad terms and not specifically, but everything. I mean, we see a bit of everything as one does in primary care and in general practice. So from bronchitis to just body ache or sore tummies to HIV to TB to everything. I mean, that's the scope of general practice, and that's pretty much what you see. But in a community like this, one tends on average to see pathology or illness that is more extreme or more severe than you would in a sort of middle class, upper middle class type of practice that most of us see in our own practices. So it's actually great exposure to what's happening out there rather than what we sometimes feel in our own practices are sort of microsymptomatology. For that reason, it's particularly useful for the students to come in, because we have student assistants who come in with us and who work with us and learn from us and examine patients and present to us. And of course, if we see interesting cases, we share with them. So it's a fantastic learning experience for them, and sometimes for us also a reminder of the sort of things that we may last have seen a long time ago working in government. Because one doesn't necessarily see that degree of illness in private practice. People are quicker to come. They have more resources at their disposal than what the disadvantaged in the communities have. So I find that the need, in a way, is greater than what it is in our own practices, and I think that makes you feel more satisfied with your decision to come, because each time you come, you really feel that you've helped people who really needed it.
Yes. Dr. Langa is also one of the oldest townships in the Western Cape. And in terms of, like you also mentioned, does it seem like even doctors, you learn all the time, picking up these diagnoses from your patients?
Yes, of course. I mean, we do learn, and we sometimes learn from our students as well, because there are new things that come out. But like I said, a lot of it is almost a throwback to the extent of the pathology, things that we don't necessarily always see in our own private practices.
In terms of medication,
you learn socially, and you get reminded. You get reminded of what a need there is, because sometimes in private practice it can become a bit, I wouldn't say the word is boring, because one has to be vigilant always. Between all the humdrum of general practice, there's always real illness and real pathology. I mean, it happens in anyone from any social strata. But I think you get reminded of how privileged and fortunate we are, and how lucky we are to have, in most of our homes, to have access to medical care as easily as we do.
Doctor, being a general practitioner for so many years, does it still feel very satisfying to you when you see a patient and you're able to help that patient?
It's a loaded question. Yes, of course. I think one can slip into the monotony of it. Fortunately for me, I love practice and I love talking to people. It's probably one of my weaknesses, is that I talk too much. So I think from that point of view, I still enjoy the human interaction. And I enjoy problem solving, which is a large part of what being a practitioner is about. It's about problem solving, both medically, physically, as well as socially. Because often someone presents with a problem, a complaint, be it fatigue. And fatigue is so enormously broad, it's almost like a GB kind of, what do I do with this problem?
That's right.
But if you take the time to sift through it and to dig a little deeper and to connect with your patient, you can often identify an issue which may actually be a social one or a stress one or something like that. But that's not going to happen if you don't actually try to really connect and talk. And if you're in a rush, that won't happen. So it does require care and interest. And fortunately for myself, I think I like to keep stimulated. So the easiest way to do that is to be interested in what you're doing.
So you really give your patients quality time, not just a quick fix or quick examination.
Well, I don't think I'm unique in that. I think a lot of doctors do that. But of course, it's what I strive to do personally.
And doctor, do you find, here at the health center, that people come with their personal problems to you?
In this setting, not as easily as it would be in a private practice, because you establish a longitudinal relationship with people when you know them. So you meet them, and how's your mom and how's your dad and what happened the last time with your daughter when I sent you to hospital. So you don't necessarily have the same thing, because they don't have a set doctor. So in my practice, I've got patients who come back dedicatedly to see me. I'm not necessarily having that here. Sometimes you encounter people again, but we are a group of volunteer doctors, so we take the slots, the shifts when they suit us, from a point of view of our other commitments. So there isn't that same sense of continuity that you would have in general practice. So you don't have as much social interaction, but of course, the same skills you apply in your own practice, you'd apply here. It is a bit more difficult in some cases, because in my own practice, predominantly I'm using English as a language medium. Here it's not, and most people to whom I'm speaking have English as their first language as well, or Afrikaans, in which I'm moderately fluent. But in this setting, there is a slight language barrier, which, if it's important, I call in one of our assistants who lives in the area and who, of course, is fluent at both to translate. I mean, translation is important for communication, because otherwise how can you make a diagnosis? How do you know what's happening? But the rapport isn't as easy to develop. But I'll never forget, actually, one of the first patients I saw at the clinic who'd come in complaining of tiredness and headache for a long time, and I looked back in her record and she'd done it. She'd come in with the same complaint repeatedly over the course of the last 18 months or so. And then I asked her a question, so has anything changed in your life? And she said to me that her husband had died about 2 years ago. And I said to her that I think you're struggling with depression. And she burst out crying. Language barrier irrespective. She understood, and I mean, I got it, and I could see it in her. And she said, she just burst out crying, and it touched me so deeply that for her, it was the first time, and she'd been not just to our clinic, but to their hospitals. For her, it was the first time someone had actually said it in words to her and acknowledged her emotion. So for her, that was quite I think it was a powerful emotion she experienced, and it was an acknowledgement of her right to that emotion. So perhaps she hadn't even identified that this is what she was feeling. So for me, that was, it touched me very deeply. So to answer your question, yes, of course, there are opportunities to anyone who's willing to open their minds and their hearts to actually connecting with human beings who are around us. And I mean, we are all human beings. So there's no difference. There are just slightly greater barriers when one has time constraints and language constraints and that sort of thing. Though the social constraints, I would hope, by my training and by my personal belief system, I attempt to break down, because it's a constraint which I believe is not of anyone's fault, or which shouldn't be there. They are artificial constraints.
Dr. Nasima Bari, Jazakallah so much for your time. Really an honor and pleasure to be here, and all of the best. And I just want to say to our viewers, remember, take care of your health, because ultimately your health is your wealth. From myself, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum, hallo en hartlike welkom by Inspirational Woman. Ek is Abeda Dixon Mohammed. My Inspirational Woman vandag is Rifka Gamildien en sy is 'n skaafstylist. Ek het 'n bietjie vir haar kom kuier vandag, want jy weet, van ons jong span sê, nee, hulle lyk oudoos met 'n doekie op, maar Rifka sê, julle kan te pragtig lyk en ek gaan vir julle wys hoe om dit te doen. Assalamu alaikum, Rifka.
Wa alaikum assalam, Abida.
As ons nou praat van 'n skaafstylist, dan praat ons nou van mooi styles en al die tipe van goeders, maar ons praat nou net van turbans homself. Rivka, wat het jou laat besluit om so iets aan te pak?
Before I started Refract, which is about 2 years ago, I would always play around with turbans because I never liked how to drape the scarf and I didn't know how. So turbans was the next best thing for me. And it was easy and I would play around and I enjoyed finding different styles. So for me, turbans is just also an expression of yourself as a person, and you get to show people, you can still be modest and still be fashionable also. So turbans was the next best thing for me to do.
Okay. Nou dan moet ek dan sê, ek sien dan jy het vir ons genoem dat jy hou dan ook werkswinkel, workshops en allerlei tipe van goeders. So in jou werkswinkel homself, leer jy nou of jy wys die dames hoe om hulle doeke te steek en so aan. Maar dink jy dat party van hulle dit moeilik vind om te doen?
No, definitely. Within a class of about 12 ladies, you're bound to get 2 or 3 of them that do struggle a little bit. But the purpose of the workshop is that anybody can come and I will teach each and every one of them how to wrap a turban and how easy it is to wrap a turban.
Okay. Ek wil nou net sê, dit is dan nou nie vir baie mense te moeilik om dit te doen nie,
No.
It's not like difficult.
It's not difficult.
Okay. En as ons nou praat van jou turban style soms self, wat se tipe materiaal gebruik jy?
So the turban style, the scarves that I use is a viscose lycra that's got a lot of stretch in, so it's easy for anybody to wrap with.
Okay. En as ons nou praat miskien nou van die lengte en wyte, hoe werk dit?
With the width, it's about 80 centimeters wide, so it gives you the option of wearing it as a turban or wearing it as a hijab as well. Whereas with the width, with the length, it does vary depending on the length of the width of the fabric that I cut from.
Oh, okay. Maar dan weet jy nou, ek kyk nou na jou doekie en ek sien nou hy so 'n mooi kleur wat nou eintlik pas nou by jou skirtjie en al die tipe van goeders en so aan. Maar jou doeke wat jy dan het of wat jy dan nou vir die dames miskien leer hoe om te maak, is dit doeke wat jy koop in die winkel of gaan koop jy jou eie materiaal en dan knip jy dit?
So I go and buy the fabric myself and then I come home and I cut everything. It's overlocked here at home and then I fold and I roll it and ready for packaging basically.
Sjoe, maar die girl ken nou maar storie, né? As ons nou praat nou van colours soms self, hoeveel colours gebruik jy eintlik?
Oh, that's a question. Easily about 15 to 20 different colors at a time.
Sure.
So I'll give you the option and then I also have prints available as well in the pin-freeze.
Okay. Nou as ons praat nou van print, en lyk dit nou vir my, ek sien jou earrings wat nou so mooi daar aan die een kant wees. Ek moet eerlik wees, toe ek jou sien, toe dog ek is van jou hare wat so mooi onderuit steek toe. En ek sien agterna, nee, dit is deel van jou earrings en so aan. Nou as ons nou praat van doeke, het jy ooit miskien daarin gedink om earrings by die doeke te sit en te verkoop?
No. But there are a few local people that do have earrings that I normally work with who sell them these kinds of earrings as well. So we collaborate and we work together then and sell together.
Nou, as ons nou praat nou dan nou van jou doeke, weet jy dalk nou eintlik miskien, en dis nou nie 'n lelike vraagie, maar die mense wat dalk kom na jou klasse toe, is dit dames wat vir die eerste keer dalk miskien nou 'n doekie wil dra, of is dit nou dames wat gewoonlik miskien die hijab style, maar nou wil hulle dalk miskien 'n hijab opsit?
A
turban opsit, daar sê.
There's a mix. So there's a few ladies that come that are starting with their scarf journey, that want to then learn how to do a turban and maybe finding the right style and what they feel comfortable with. And then you do get the aunties that want to come and, do their turbans because they like it for the weddings and things like that. So there's a mix of people with various reasons.
Nou sê gou vir my, het jy dan ook in daai bedryf nou, jy is nou in daai bedryf, waar jy dalk miskien jou doeke verkoop of so?
Yes, no, I do. I sell them online and then I also do markets, things like that. and then it's also available for purchasing then at the workshops too.
Okay. Nou jy praat van online. Ek het persoonlik nog nooit online gekoop nie. Hoe werk 'n online winkel?
So an online shop is basically, you go onto the internet, you type in the address of the shop that you want to purchase from, and then my online store's got all my scarves available for purchase. So you'll literally click on it, it'll take you then to your checkout, and you can pay via your EFT, or you can even pay via PayFast. So PayFast is like a direct EFT as well, but you don't even need to leave the store, the site. And then it's done. And then you can do either courier, where it gets delivered into your house. You don't even need to leave your home, basically.
Sure.
Or you can then just collect from me as well.
Wel, ek moet daarom sê die media en natuurlik technology, soos hulle sal sê, né? Nou Rivka, ons praat nou van jou online store, maar dan praat ons nou ook dan van pop-up stores en dan ook miskien dalk soos hulle sal sê, waar jy dan nou gaan, jy's deel van 'n plekkie waar hulle dan stalletjies doen en daai. Jy het dan nou al so iets gedoen al, né?
Yes, I do various markets and pop-ups. I've just come back from a market in Joburg now as well. So it's nice. It gives you exposure. You get to see your clients also. You get to have that interaction with them. So the pop-ups and markets are a big part of it, definitely.
Nou hierdie vraag. Jy kom nou net van Joburg af. Maar sê nou gou vir ons. Kaap is maar die beste, né?
Always. True to form. Home is where the heart is.
Wel, dit is maar net ietsie wat ek nou moet. Maar Rivka, as ek nou gou mag vra, is ons praat van jou online store. Het jy dalk miskien al iemand gehad wat miskien vir jou gebel het of ge-email het en gesê het, kyk hier, ek is nie tevrede met die doek of wat ook al hè?
Yes, I've had a few instances where people didn't maybe like what they purchased.
Okay.
And I have then told them, look, okay, if you aren't happy, I'm more than willing to then refund you as long as you then return the products then back to me.
Dan op wiese onkoste?
On mine.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is dit nie baie nie?
You know, when you start out, I think it's minor things, but if you get a customer that's then happy with the way you treat them, you're more than likely going to get them come back and support you again. And I think at the end of the day, that's what's more important.
Okay. Soos hulle ook dan sal sê, dit is baie belangrik om jou clients ook gelukkig te hou, né?
Definitely.
Alright. Ek weet daar nie so my nie. Ek het altyd respek vir julle besigheidsmense wat dan nou al die geduld het met wat julle dan nou wil doen en wat julle nog wil aanpak en so aan. Maar sê gou vir my, jou ondersteuning van jou familie of vriende, hoe is dit? Your friends, support?
It's amazing. My mom, best person ever, she supports me through everything. And then the friends that I've got, they in the same boat as me, basically. Okay. So we know where each other is coming from and we understand the situations that we're in. So it's nice and it's very important to have that support structure.
Nou sê gou vir my, as jy nou so besig is, wanneer skakel jy die lig af? En dan sê jy, is nou me time.
5 o'clock, done. I'm done. Although most times, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I'm still responding to emails. But then as much as I can try, there are nights that I'll just be like, you know what, I need time off and I need me time. So I'm just going to spend time with my family. So Wednesday night is generally a family night where my brothers and everybody come and have supper here. So that's my off night. And then I'll go to friends and I'll go chill and visit them also, just to have your sanity, you know, you need that little bit of sanity. So we make time.
Okay. As Allah jou vergun, waar sien jy jouself dalk in 'n jaar se tyd?
Inshallah, I would like to take my workshops to Joburg, to PE and Durban, you know, all over. And I'd also like to broaden Refract. I don't want them to just be available in Cape Town. You know, I would want them to be in Joburg and to be in Durban and for anybody to access and to be able to just go and buy them if they want to and when they want to.
Sure. Rivka, ek weet daarom nou nie of so iets vir my is. Ja, ek kan ook so 'n bietjie stylish maak en so aan. Maar vat dit nie baie van jou tyd wanneer jy besig is veral met 'n workshop nie?
No, not at all. With a workshop, the prep it takes minimum about a day's worth of prep. But it's quick and it's easy and I love it. I love getting to be around my people, my customers, and seeing how their face changes when they realize how easy it is to wrap a turban.
Okay. Voor ons gou gaan vir 'n breek. Met jou doekie wat jy steek en jou earringkies wat jy miskien kan aansit, doen jy ook make-up?
No, I don't do makeup. I wish I was this good, but no.
Oh, okay. No make-up.
No makeup. No. Minimum, like basic beginner level kind of makeup.
Okay. Wel, so sê my gas Rivka Gamildien. Ons is nou weer terug. Nadat gaan sy vir ons wys hoe om 'n paar styles te maak. Welkom terug by Inspirational Women en ek gesels nog steeds met Rivka Gamildien, natuurlik die skaaf stylist. Rivka, nou ons het vir effe gesels oor die materiaal en die colours en al daai tipe van goeders. In 'n paar sekondes gou. Hardloop gou vir my deur die tipe van die materiaal wat jy het hierso.
Okay, so these over here is your viscose lycras that you use for your pin freeze, and then this over here is the velvet that we've also then introduced now in Ramadan. Also one of our new ranges.
Okay. Nou, soos ons nog vir effe gesê het, velvet ken ons van hy stywe, swaar en natuurlik sulke dinge se, maar hierdie een is dan nou 'n bietjie lig en hy voel baie dun en so aan.
Ja.
So dis die nuwe velvet wat 'n mens kry.
Must be, but it's nice, it's stretchy, it's perfect for your turbans as well.
Okay. En dan obviously sien ek hier ons het jou kind of turbans hierso wat hulle het en hierdie goede is so mooi en dit is stretchy en daai tipe van goeders. Maar as ons nou kyk na alles dien wat jy kan doen en dan natuurlik hier is jou machines wat jy het. Hierdie ene en daai ene en 'n ene agter jou so. Jy het die grappies gemaak as jy sê jy doen dit self nie.
Yeah. All year at home, homegrown and home-based everything.
Okay. Nou Rivka, gee gou vir ons kykers daar 'n kind of a style of twee om vir hulle presies te wys hoe leer jy die meisies om dit te doen.
Okay. So let's just undo here quickly for you.
Nou as ons gou mag vra wat se style was daai nou gewees?
Okay, so this one is called a hidden knot. So I'll do this one again for you.
Yes, okay.
Right. So normally the scarves is then folded in half and then in lengthwise.
Okay.
So you're going to bring it forward.
Yeah.
Always making sure that the back of your head here is covered. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
So you'll bring it forward like that. You're going to take your short piece over your long piece and then tie your knot from the bottom
Met die kort ene.
with a short one.
Yes.
And then you're going to pull it up and down like that. Right? So then you'll take your short piece and you're going to let it just hang to the back like that.
All right.
And you're going to pull then your long piece. So your long piece hangs naturally this way. You'll pull it in the opposite direction like that.
Okay.
And you're going to go around. So you'll go around like that.
Ja.
And then bring it back over. And then let it just tuck in. Right
En dan
there.
daar kom die een wat nou daar hang. Hy kry dan die spasie om
and then it just
agterin
gets tucked in
vasgetrap
as
te
well.
word.
And there you go.
En daar
How
is hy.
easy is
Daar
that?
is die eerste enetjie klaar en kyk hoe gou was daai. So wat een kan jy nog vir ons wys?
Okay, let's do another one.
Wat is die volgende een wat jy gaan doen?
Okay, so the one that I'm going to do now is also a knot.
Yes.
And this is a front knot. So you're again going to have your short piece and your long piece.
Yes, okay.
So same concept, but this time around you'll have your short piece go underneath the long through the hole from on top, right?
Die ander ene was onderste bo.
Yeah, it was the other way around. So then you're going to take your short piece then first.
Ja.
You're going to pull open from the base.
Soort van pliete te kry.
Exactly. And then you're going to drape it. So you'll hold it there with your free hand.
Ja.
And your long piece goes in the same direction then.
Amper om dit vas te hou nou daar.
Exactly. So it gets tucked in like that.
Ja.
And you're going to bring it around. So it'll
En
go
as ons
around
gou
there.
kyk hoe lyk dit agter
Ja.
as hy dan. Daar sy.
Right?
Ja.
And then you're going to bring that back over. So it goes behind the knot like that. And then you'll tuck it in.
Alles in.
Everything in.
Okay, kom ons maak hom gou mooi.
There we go.
Daar sy. And
Done.
there you go. Alright.
Another one.
Nou as ek dalk miskien nou 'n broodjie daar wil sit of ietsie of 'n ding.
Exactly. Then you get to do
Then
that
let's
and you can
even more.
accessorize the way you want to.
Okay. So daai was die tweede een. Wat een doen ons next?
Okay. So this one we'll do is then the standard turban. So it's the crossover one that a lot of the ladies like. So let's just do that one quickly.
Okay. En ek kan sien dis nie moeilik om los en vas te maak nie
No,
want hy
very
direk
not.
Hy's baie rekkerig.
Is very nice and stretchy.
Yes, okay.
So with the standard turban, you're going to So cross over, right?
Okay.
So you're going to cross
Maar
it
word op
over
agter. Ja.
at the back like that, and you'll bring it forward first. Then you're going to take your short piece, and you'll drape it diagonally across like that,
Ja.
and hold it in
vast.
with your free hand. Right? Then you're going to bring your longer piece now, and it'll go in the opposite direction,
Yes.
so it gets tucked in like that, and then you wrap it
Maar kom
around
net weer vas.
like that, and tuck in.
So hy het glad nie pins nodig nie, want hy
None.
is al klaar styf genoeg en hy hou
Exactly.
alles vas.
And it's comfortable,
Ja.
and it's because of the stretch, and because you can tuck it in, you don't need
Maar dan
any
kry jy
pins.
mens mos nou tog maar van hy vroumense wat wil iets pin. So dis okay as jy hom man wil pin.
If you really want to and you feel that you want to secure it a bit more, then you're more than welcome to use a pin. But
okay.
I mean, you saw there now, easy peasy.
Nou kan jy sien sy het nou alweer vir ons 3 styles gemaak, né? Kom ons kyk hoe vinnig is sy en hoeveel sy vir ons nog kan maak.
Another one?
Wat die een gaan jy gou vir ons doen?
Let's see. We can do the mohawk.
Da?
Mohawk.
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 Oh, ek het eers geweet styles het nog name ook.
Oh yeah, we have to come up with names and everything. You know? Okay. So the mohawk was also, you'd have a short side and a long side.
Yes.
And then you're going to bring it forward, always making sure that this part here is
Yeah,
covered.
yes.
So a short piece is going to go through the hole from on top. And you're going to tie your knot up and down again. So this time around, you'll take your long piece first. And we're just going to wrap it around.
Ja.
So bringing it back over and tucking in.
Yes.
Alright, so just tucking in here.
Ja, ek sien hom.
And then this piece,
There you go.
you're going to fan open again to get your pleats.
Yeah.
And you'll just drape it to the back, just like that. So just tucked in there again, easy peasy.
So dis amazing om te sien hoe 'n mens met een skaaf so 'n klomp styles kan maak, nê? Nee. Rivka, ons het daarom nog 'n paar minute nog.
Want another one?
Ons wil miskien nog
Okay.
1 of 2.
Let's see.
En ek kan sien dis nie nog moeilik om los te maak en
No,
vas te
not at all.
maak nie, want dit gly sommer lekker af.
Yeah,
Yes.
easy peasy, and it's very secure. So again, short and long. We're going to bring it to the front again. Short piece goes through the hole from on top,
Yeah.
like that. And you're going to tie up and down. So then this one now first. You're going to fan it open again and go straight over then, like that.
Okay.
Right? And then you're going to take your long piece. It'll go over your short piece. And you're going to wrap it around, just like that. Bring it back over.
So die vorige een was 'n sideways, so hy is nou meer
Ja.
meer oor voor.
And then there you go. So that's another one.
Okay.
Who's left? You want to do another one?
Dat lyk so. Ek moet nou gou eers kyk hoeveel tyd het ons nog, want hulle geniet hulle so self hier dat hulle net sê ons kan maar nog, maar jou skaap gaan so gou.
Right. So we'll do one more. So this one is the twisty turban, so no knots. Right? So you're going to cross over
Yes.
and you're going to pull to the back like that. Right? So if it's long enough,
Ja, en
You'll tuck it in there.
Okay. Daar sê wat jy
just like
onderin
that.
getak.
And then this one, you can go one of two ways. So I like going this way. So it gives you a little bit of a twist when you wrap your turban.
Ja.
And you're going to go around, just like that. Bring it over, and you'll tuck it in. Like
Nou,
that.
Rika sê gou vir my, ek sien altyd dat van die Indian mans, hulle rap hulle, ek weet nie wat hulle dit noem nie, maar dan kom dit sulke mooi groot pliete en dan staan dit so mooi. Kan jy iets soos daai doen?
Oh no, I don't know what they do there, but that looks very cool.
Dit lyk net te oulik.
It just looks perfect. Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't know how they get
En ek
that.
kan net imagine die klomp tyd wat hulle seker moet vat om daai ding perfek te kry en so aan. Rivka, is daar enige ander styles wat jy vir ons nog kan maak?
Oh, let me see. Is there another one? I don't even know now. Okay, well, the same that thing.
Ja.
And then instead of going opposite,
Yes.
you'll go in the direction that it then lays.
Ja.
And it'll give you a whole different turban. So you'll wrap to the back
Yes.
and then tuck in,
Okay.
just like that. I can feel it loose. There we go.
En met hierdie een self kan 'n mens dan ook die toes ene doen en dan net rol amper soos
Yes,
hierdie ene
you
wat ek
can.
nou doen.
It'll just give you a much bigger,
Yeah.
volume on top.
Wil jy gou vir ons wys?
Oh, we can try.
En daai sal natuurlik seker ons laaste enetjie wees.
So, you normally do the twist forward, right? Okay, normally it must have equal lengths. So like that. And I cover on the back. Like that. So you're going to twist. Right. And do your bun. It's a little bit big.
Ja, maar party mense hou van die grootheid.
They do.
Yes. Party hou van die grootheid.
And then tuck in.
Okay.
Easy, you know. They're just very big.
Veral soos die modelle, die models, hulle hou van
You
van die
know,
groot buns
yeah,
en
go
so.
big or go home.
En kyk hoe oulik lyk sy. Te oulik. Wat meer kan ons jong dames vra? Hulle kan nie sê hulle lyk nog soos ou dosie, want
Not
mense
anymore.
so hulle gaan dit nie toelaat nie. Rivka, voor ons afsluit, wat sal jou laaste woorde wees vir ons jong dames? Wat dan sê, ek wil nie 'n doek dra nie want ek wil nie soos 'n ou vrou lyk nie.
You know, I don't think there's a thing anymore. We have so many options to style our scarves. I think it's just about finding the style that suits you, that you feel comfortable with, and you can wear that. It doesn't matter. You don't need to wear the plain Jane or anything like that. Just find a style that works for you and wear that.
Okay. Laaste vraagie voor ons afsluit. Ek sien jou verpakking, jou packaging is so mooi. Gee gou vir ons in 'n 30 sekondes die refrap storie van hierdie packaging.
I'm somebody that loves, you know, things looking a particular way. So for me, the band. I wanted the band, but it looked too plain, so I had to get something to go around it, and then obviously the sticker was just, I needed a logo, I wanted it plain and simple, and that is how I did it. So the ones with the printed scarves will have a plain band, and then you'll see there that the plain ones has a printed band.
Okay.
So, you know, something a little bit cute and want people to remember the packaging by. Because if something looks nice, you want to buy it,
Ja,
right?
natuurlik ja. Alright. Dan moet ek dan vir jy sê, dit is dan hoe haar packaging, haar rief. Dus ek het gewonder nou hoekom rief rap. En toe kom ek dit nou eintlik self agter. Rief natuurlik is vir Rivka en dan rap is natuurlik die rap wat sy doen. En daar kry sy vir rief rap. Wel, ek hoop jy dan die dag saam met my en Rivka lekker geniet. Tot volgende keer. Mooi bly. Ek is Abida Dixon Mohammed. Totsiens. Wassalamu alaikum.
That's it for this week's episode of Inspirational Women. Join us next week as we bring you more fascinating stories from inspirational women from all walks of life. And remember, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.